I need you to stop for a moment and listen to me, because what is shaking your heart tonight, I saw it long before it reached you. You've been trying to stay strong while quietly falling apart inside. You've been holding your breath, hoping something will finally shift, wondering if God still sees you. God still hears you. God still cares. Hear me now. I never left you. I never stopped fighting for you. I never stopped working in the places your eyes cannot reach. You are worried because you see nothing changing. But I am the God who moves in silence. You are afraid because the path looks uncertain, but I have already cleared the road ahead of you. Let this truth break through your fear. Stop worrying. I have already taken care of what keeps you awake at night. You don't feel change, Martin, but change has already begun. You don't see faith rising, but faith is rising inside you. You don't hear me moving, but I am moving right now. And before you continue, I want you to do something that opens the door for me to work even deeper. Declare what your fear has been trying to silence, because every time you speak in faith, heaven responds, and darkness loses ground. So if you feel my presence right now, if you know I'm speaking to you, if something inside you is stirring again, write boldly in the comments, "My faith stands with God." This isn't for attention. This isn't for numbers. This is a spiritual stand, a moment where your words align with what I am releasing over your life, and as you declare it, I will touch your heart in ways you have not experienced before. I saw you trying to fix what was never meant to rest in your hands. I watched the way you carried the weight alone, telling yourself, if I just try harder, maybe it will finally change. But every time you pushed, it felt like the situation pushed back harder. Every time you tried to control the outcome, your heart broke a little more. Hear my voice now. I never asked you to heal what only heaven can touch. I never asked you to solve what requires my power, not your strength. I never asked you to carry what has been crushing you from the inside. I saw the moments when you held your breath, hoping it would get better. I saw the nights you whispered, "God, please, I don't know what else to do." And while you thought I was silent, I was already moving where your hands could not reach. There are things in your life that you tried to repair with broken tools, tools shaped by fear, overthinking, exhaustion, and disappointment. But I work differently. I step into the pieces you can't gather. I heal the wounds you can't open. I make a way in places you don't even know exist yet. You looked at the problem and saw impossibility. I looked at the same problem and saw a pathway to transformation. You saw something collapsing. I saw something being rebuilt. You saw failure. I saw preparation. This is why I am telling you to stop holding the weight of something that belongs in my hands. You weren't created to carry this level of pressure. Not alone, not for this long. Let me show you what you couldn't see. I have already stepped into the very space where your fear grew. I have already spoken to the storm that rises against you. I have already aligned the change that needs to unfold. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not failing. You are being carried. And if you can release your grip and even a little, you will feel what you have been missing. My peace, my clarity, my guidance, my presence, my strength. You couldn't fix it because you were never meant to, but I can, and I already have. And if you feel this truth touching your spirit right now, if you sense that I am speaking directly into the broken space inside you, then let this moment mark a shift. Subscribe to this channel, so my words can keep finding you in the exact moment you need them. Every time you return, I will meet you with new strength and new peace. You don't walk this journey alone, I walk it with you. You've been afraid of time, afraid of the waiting, afraid of the silence, afraid that life is moving forward for everyone else while you remain stuck in the same unanswered place. But listen to me. You are not losing time. I am rearranging it. I know how the delay has made you question everything. I know how your heart whispers, maybe I missed something. Maybe I'm falling behind. Maybe it's too late for me. But none of that is true. Not a single moment of your life is wasted when it rests in my hands. You see stillness as a threat. I see it as strategy. You think the pause means I've stopped working. I use the pause to align what will carry you into your next season. You fear that nothing is moving, but everything is moving and you just can't see the angles from where you stand. What feels like delay to you is protection from what would have harmed you. What feels like setback is actually preparation. What feels like silence is the sound of heaven building what you prayed for. You tell yourself, I should be further by now. But you are exactly where you need to be for what I am shaping inside you. Every step you thought you missed, I am restoring. Every door you thought closed forever, I am reassigning. Every opportunity that slipped away, I am replacing with something woven perfectly for you. Time is not your enemy. Time belongs to me. And when time belongs to me, it bends, aligns, shifts, protects, and prepares in ways you cannot imagine. You think you're running late, but you are being positioned. You think you're behind, but you are being refined. You think the clock is against you, but I am the one who holds the clock. I'm not delaying to frustrate you, I'm delaying to strengthen you. There are blessings that require deeper roots, and I am giving you exactly the foundation you need to carry what is coming. Don't despise this season. Don't rush the process. Don't assume the quiet means nothing is happening. Heaven is rearranging the order of your life. Heaven is removing what would have broken you. Heaven is preparing what will elevate you. There is purpose in every second you don't understand. There is movement in every moment you call empty. There is grace in every day that feels repetitive and slow. You're not losing time. Time is being rewritten for you. And when the moment arrives, because it will, you will understand why the wait had to happen the way it did. You will see that every delay was a doorway, every pause was protection, and every quiet day was filled with my hands shifting your future into place. Rest in this truth. I do not waste time. I redeem it. And I am redeeming yours right now. You keep asking why I am so quiet in this season, but my silence is not absence, it is preparation. You are standing in what I call an Esther moment, a sacred place where destiny is shaped behind closed doors, in the stillness, in the unseen. You look at your life and think nothing is happening, but in the quiet I am building the courage, clarity, and faith you will need for what comes next. Esther did not see the shift happening around her. She did not know the weight of what she was being prepared for. She simply trusted me in the silence, and through that trust, she stepped into a moment that changed everything. And now I am doing the same with you. You call this season waiting, but I call it becoming. You call it delay, but I call it divine shaping. You call it silence, but I call it strategy. The silence you fear is actually where I am strengthening you. I am teaching you to hear my whisper over the noise of worry. I am forming a deeper faith, not a loud one, not a desperate one, but a steady one that stands firm even when nothing around you makes sense. You keep wondering, why can't I see the full plan? Why doesn't God speak louder? Why is everything moving so slowly? Because what I am preparing in you requires depth. It requires refinement. It requires a kind of transformation that cannot happen in rushed spaces or noisy paths. Esther's breakthrough came after a long stretch of stillness. Her courage was crafted in hidden places, the same hidden places where I am crafting yours. And when the moment came, she was ready. Not because she saw everything, but because she surrendered everything. That is what I am doing in your life right now. You are not losing momentum. You are gaining strength. You are not being overlooked. You are being positioned. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared by the very hands of God. Do not fear the quiet. Do not run from the stillness. Do not assume nothing is happening just because you cannot see movement. I am shaping your future with precision. I am building your heart with purpose. I am preparing you for a moment that requires exactly who you are becoming. And when that moment arrives, the moment only I can orchestrate, you will understand why the silence was necessary. You will see that every quiet day held power, every hidden season carried transformation, every unseen moment was filled with divine change. Before we move on, I want you to mark this moment with faith. Comment these words: I am being prepared in the silence. You've been living with a storm inside your chest, a quiet trembling you try to hide, a constant ache that whispers, what if it all falls apart? What if I can't handle this? What if nothing changes? I see how your thoughts run faster than your strength. I see the way worry rises like a wave that refuses to break. I see the pressure you carry in places no one else notices. But hear me clearly. When worry rises, I move first. Long before fear reaches your heart, I have already stepped into the situation. Long before your mind begins to race, I have already spoken peace over what threatens you. Long before the problem shows its face, I am moving in ways you cannot yet see. You think anxiety is a sign that something has gone wrong, but it is often a sign that something spiritual is shifting, that change is stirring beneath the surface, that the atmosphere around your life is being rearranged, that the future is being shaped in ways you can't yet grasp. I do not wait for your fear to calm before I act. I do not wait for your strength to return before I intervene. I do not wait for your mind to become still before I move. I move first. I move ahead. I move before you even breathe the prayer. You imagine scenarios of what could go wrong, but I am writing a story of what will be made right. You prepare for the worst, but I am aligning what leads to your breakthrough. You fear losing everything, but I am protecting what truly matters. Your worry is loud, I know it is, but my presence is stronger than the volume of your thoughts. When fear tightens its grip, my hand is already reaching through the darkness to steady you. And even when you feel you're unraveling, I am holding every thread of your life in perfect order. I need you to understand this. You are not alone in your fear. You are not weak for feeling overwhelmed. You are not failing because your emotions are heavy. You are human, and I am your God. I walk with you in every trembling breath. I sit beside you in every restless night. I hold you in every moment where you feel yourself slipping. Do not judge your future by the intensity of today's worry. Do not assume the storm inside your mind reflects the reality of what I am doing. Do not mistake the chaos of emotion for the absence of my presence. I am here. I am steady. I am unmoved. And I am already working on the very thing you fear most. Your worry rises, but my power rises first. Your fear speaks, but my promise speaks louder. Your heart trembles, but my peace covers every trembling place. Rest in this. I am ahead of you, I am surrounding you, I am carrying you, and no fear can overrule what I have already set in motion. I want to show you something through someone whose heart walked a path very similar to yours. Her name is Olivia. She sat by her window one night, staring at a sky that felt too quiet, too distant, too empty. Her hands were wrapped around a cup that had already grown cold, and her thoughts repeated the same sentence over and over. I'm afraid to hope again. She wasn't afraid of failure. She was afraid of believing, afraid that if she opened her heart one more time, it would break in the same places, afraid that if she trusted again, the disappointment would feel heavier than before, afraid that if she reached out in faith, God might stay silent. I was with her in that moment. I saw the way she tried to convince herself she didn't care anymore. I saw the way her tears held questions she didn't dare speak. I saw the tremble in her spirit, the fragile place where her faith had been bruised but not destroyed. And I whispered to her the same truth I am whispering to you now. I have not forgotten you. Your hope is not foolish. Your heart is still capable of rising. Hope is frightening when your soul has been wounded. Hope feels dangerous when disappointment has shaped your memories. Hope becomes heavy when you've carried too many unanswered prayers. But hope, when placed in me, does not crumble. It gets reborn. Olivia didn't feel strong when she chose to hope again. She didn't feel brave. She didn't feel ready. She simply felt a small shift inside her, a soft stirring that said, maybe God is still moving, even here. And that tiny seed of faith, that quiet, trembling yes, opened the door for change. Not sudden change, not loud change, but real change. I began restoring what disappointment had taken. I began softening the walls she had built around her heart. I began guiding her step by gentle step, until she realized she was no longer surviving the silence. She was growing through it. And now I say this to you. You are not weak for being afraid to hope. You are not broken for hesitating to trust. You are not failing because your faith feels fragile. Your heart has been through more than most people know, but I know. I saw it all. And I am not asking you for a loud faith, only a willing one. The moment you allow yourself to hope again, even just a little, you will feel the shift. You will sense my presence rebuilding what life tried to dismantle. You will experience the change rising inside you, quiet but undeniable. Your hope will not be wasted. Your faith will not collapse. Your trust will not return empty, because I am the one holding it. And just as I led Olivia out of her fear, I am leading you into a future crafted with purpose, healing, and a faith that will rise stronger than every past disappointment. You've been carrying a weight that has been slowly draining the strength out of your soul. You've tried to stay composed, tried to stay responsible, tried to stay strong for everyone else. But inside, you've grown weary in ways you haven't told anyone. I have watched the heaviness you push through every day, the pressure in your chest, the questions in your mind, the exhaustion in your spirit, the feeling that you cannot afford to fall apart because too much depends on you. But listen to me. The weight you carry isn't yours anymore. You were never meant to hold what has been crushing you. You were never asked to carry burdens that require divine strength. You were never created to live in constant tension, hoping your limited strength would somehow survive unlimited pressure. I see the way you lie awake, trying to solve things that demand more than human effort. I see the way you rehearse every possible outcome in the hope of preventing disaster. I see the way you silently ask, God, how much longer can I hold this together? And here is my answer. You don't have to. You were never meant to. Bring it to me. Release it into my hands. Let me carry what you can't. Faith was never meant to be a performance of strength. Faith is the courage to place what overwhelms you into the hands of the one who cannot be overwhelmed. You think letting go means losing control. But letting go is how you return control to the one who knows the end from the beginning. Letting go doesn't make you weak. It makes you aligned with heaven. You've been holding your breath for too long. Come back to a place where you can breathe again. I am lifting what has been sitting on your shoulders. I am strengthening what has been trembling inside you. I am touching the very areas that feel too fragile to expose. I am pouring peace into the places where your heart has been fighting to stay afloat. And you will feel the shift. You will sense the unburdening deep inside you. Not because your circumstances have changed instantly, but because you are no longer carrying them alone. I want you to understand something sacred. Your value is not measured by how much you can endure. Your worth is not defined by how much you can hold. Your identity is not built on carrying what was never assigned to you. I carry you, I strengthen you, I sustain you, and I will continue to do so even when your faith feels small and your heart feels tired. Let this moment be the beginning of release, a holy surrender, a quiet yielding, a sacred transfer of weight from your hands to mine. And before you continue, mark this moment with a declaration that opens your heart to what I'm doing. Comment these words. I release what is not mine to carry. This is your step into freedom. This is where the weight begins to lift. This is where change begins within you. You've been staring at a closed door for so long that it has started to feel personal, painful, and unfair. You've knocked until your hope grew tired. You've waited until your heart grew numb. You've wondered, why would God let something close on me right when I needed it most? But listen to me. A closed door is not a rejection. It is a redirection guided by my hands. I know how deeply you wanted that opportunity, that relationship, that moment, that breakthrough. I know how your heart leaned toward it with full expectation. I know how you prayed and believed, and how the silence after the door shut felt like a betrayal of your faith. But I need you to see what you couldn't see. Closed doors protect you from what your eyes are not yet able to discern. Closed doors shield you from paths that would have drained more than they blessed. Closed doors reroute you toward what aligns with who you are becoming, not who you used to be. You think the door closed because you lacked something, but it closed because I saw something you didn't. You think you were denied, but you were redirected to something higher, deeper, safer, and more purposeful. You asked me for guidance, and my answer came in a form that felt like loss. But what feels like loss to you is often the beginning of divine change. I am working behind the scenes in ways your heart cannot yet comprehend. While you are focused on the door that will not open, I am opening paths behind it, rearranging timing, shifting environments, and preparing spaces that you would have never discovered on your own. You see a barrier, but I see a hidden blessing. You see an ending, but I see a new beginning forming quietly in the background. You see silence, but I see strategy. You have not been forgotten in the hallway of waiting. You have not been abandoned in the space between prayers and answers. You are standing in a moment where my presence is closer than the disappointment you feel. Every closed door you've encountered has been marked with my fingerprints. I closed it with intention. I closed it with protection. I closed it because the path behind it would have taken more from you than it ever would have given. And while you stare at what didn't open, I am working in the unseen, shifting connections, aligning timing, preparing people, arranging outcomes, and setting in motion a plan that will make you grateful the earlier door never opened. Do not measure your future by a door that refused to move. Do not define your worth by what didn't happen. Do not let disappointment tell you a story I never wrote. Every closed door has a purpose in my design. Every disappointment contains a hidden mercy. Every no carries a greater yes shaping itself behind the scenes. And when the right door opens, smoothly, freely, without resistance, you will understand that nothing was lost. Everything was being divinely aligned, quietly and powerfully, by the God who never stops working for you. There are moments when you look at your life and feel as if nothing is moving, nothing is shifting, nothing is breaking open. You feel suspended between what you prayed for and what you see, caught in a place where hope feels fragile and the future feels blurred. But hear me clearly. The answer is already set before you see it. Just because your eyes cannot recognize the movement does not mean heaven is still. Just because the situation looks unchanged does not mean my hands are idle. Just because your heart feels the weight of waiting does not mean your future is uncertain. I work ahead of your sight. I prepare solutions long before problems arise. I speak into your future before your present catches up. I align steps you haven't taken yet, and I position blessings you haven't imagined. You think everything depends on what you can see, but I operate in the unseen, in the layers of your life that are hidden from your understanding. You look at your circumstances and say, nothing is happening. But I say to you, everything is happening, just not where your eyes are focused. Your faith feels small because you cannot measure progress. Your mind doubts because it sees no evidence. Your heart trembles because the path looks uncertain, but I need you to understand something sacred. My answers do not begin when you notice them. They begin when I speak them. Long before you prayed, I was already aligning the response. Long before you cried, I was already bringing comfort. Long before you feared the worst, I had already established the outcome. What looks delayed is already decided. What seems far away is already in motion. What appears impossible is already under my authority. You are not waiting for me to start working. You are waiting to see what I have already finished in the spiritual realm. Your faith is not meant to depend on visible signs. Your faith is meant to rest in who I am, the God who never begins a story without already knowing the ending. I want you to imagine something, a seed planted deep in the ground. It is alive, growing, changing, even though the surface shows no sign of life. You could stare at the soil for days and believe nothing is happening, but beneath the surface, transformation is taking place. This is how my work looks in your life right now. Invisible, quiet, hidden, but undeniably active. Some of the greatest answers you will ever receive will arrive suddenly, not because they began suddenly, but because they finished the moment I spoke them. And you finally stepped into their unfolding. Trust this truth. What you're praying for is not drifting in uncertainty. It is anchored in my will. It is held in my timing. It is protected in my hands. And when the moment arrives, when everything I have been preparing breaks through the surface, you will realize that your faith was not waiting for me to act. Your faith was waiting for your eyes to catch up to what I had already done. The answer is set. The way is prepared. The change is already on its way. There are moments when fear feels louder than truth, when it rises in your chest like a storm, when it shakes your confidence, when it makes you question everything you thought you believed. I have seen how fear has tried to wrap itself around your heart. I have watched the way it sneaks into your thoughts, telling you stories that were never written by my hand. I have felt the weight of every silent worry you've carried alone. But listen to me now with a still and open heart. Your fear is not final, because I have already spoken over it. Fear tells you the situation is too big. I tell you I am bigger. Fear tells you the worst is coming. I tell you my plans for you are steady and good. Fear tells you you're unprotected. I tell you you are held in the hands of God. Fear tries to predict a future that I have not authored. Fear speaks in shadows, in assumptions, in threats that crumble under the weight of my presence. But I speak in truth, and my truth stands when every voice of fear falls silent. I need you to understand something powerful. Fear is loud, but it is not prophetic. Fear is emotional, but it is not eternal. Fear is aggressive, but it is not authoritative. Only my voice holds authority over your life. And I've already declared peace where fear tries to build chaos. I have already declared victory where fear imagines defeat. I have already declared purpose where fear paints emptiness. I have already declared change where fear whispers stagnation. Your fear rises instinctively because you are human, but my promise stands eternally because I am God. I saw every moment when fear convinced you that you were alone. I saw every moment when your thoughts spiraled into darkness. I saw every moment when your heart raced with uncertainty. But standing in each of those moments was my presence. Steady, unwavering, unshaken. You cannot feel fear and faith in equal measure. One will rise and one will bow. And I am here to tell you that fear will bow. Not because you have perfect strength, but because I have perfect authority. Not because you never tremble, but because I never change. Not because you feel confident, but because I speak over you with power. Fear has tried to write the ending of a story that belongs to me. Fear has tried to predict outcomes that I have already reversed. Fear has tried to lock you in a future I never designed. But my voice is rewriting everything fear tried to claim. Your fear will not define you. Your fear will not overpower you. Your fear will not get the last word. I will. And before you move forward, I want you to anchor this moment with truth. Comment these words. Fear will not write my future. Let your declaration silence the lies that have echoed too long. You've been wondering why the journey feels heavier than the promise you're reaching for. You've questioned why your emotions feel stretched, why your patience feels thin, why your spirit feels unsettled, even when you're trying to trust me. But listen carefully. Before the miracle arrives, I prepare the heart that will carry it. Miracles do not stand on weak foundations. Breakthroughs cannot rest in places where old wounds still rule. New seasons cannot flourish in hearts that have not released what belongs to the past. You feel discomfort because I am reshaping you from the inside out. You feel pressure because I am expanding what your spirit can hold. You feel stretched because your faith is growing into the size of what you are about to receive. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. I'm removing the fears that would sabotage your blessing. I'm healing the insecurities that would distort your clarity. I'm softening the places that have grown numb from disappointment. I'm strengthening the areas that collapsed under pressure before. Inside you, something sacred is unfolding. An alignment, a purification, a transformation that goes deeper than anything you can see with your natural eyes. You keep asking me for the miracle, but I am focused on preparing the one who will carry it. A miracle is not only about what arrives, it is about who you become when it arrives. You prayed for change, so I am changing the things within you that limited your capacity. You prayed for strength, so I am letting you walk through moments where your strength is tested into growth. You prayed for new beginnings, so I am closing the emotional doors that kept you tied to old seasons. There is nothing wrong with you for feeling uncomfortable. Growth often feels like tension. Transformation often feels like breaking before rebuilding. Preparation often feels like pressure in places that used to feel predictable. But understand this. A prepared heart can hold what an unprepared heart would lose. I am not withholding your miracle. I am preparing you to handle it without fear, without doubt, without collapse. You think you're waiting on me. But much of this time, I am waiting on your heart to reach the place where the miracle can safely land. When the timing aligns, when the internal shift is complete, when your faith stands fully rooted in who I am rather than what you see, the miracle will not feel delayed. It will feel perfectly timed. Nothing I've done in you has been wasted. Nothing you've walked through has been for nothing. Nothing you've released has left you empty. Everything has been leading to a moment where preparation meets manifestation, where inner healing meets outer blessing, where silent growth meets visible breakthrough. You are being shaped for what is coming. You are being readied for what you prayed for. You are being strengthened for the miracle that is already approaching. And when it arrives, you will understand. The change in you was part of the miracle all along. You've walked with me through every word of this message, through every truth I've spoken over your fear, your waiting, your silence, your exhaustion, your questions, and your hope that still trembles inside you. And now, as this message comes to its final moments, I want you to feel something deeper than understanding. I want you to feel my presence settling over you like a quiet, steady light. Everything you've heard was not coincidence. It was not random. It was not accidental. It was me meeting you at the exact place your heart needed me. And now, as this journey shifts from revelation to restoration, let your spirit breathe, because I am not done with you. I'm just moving closer. Let this moment be the bridge between your pain and my peace, between your questions and my answers, between your fear and the faith that is rising inside you again. Come closer now. Let me speak into the softest place of your soul. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel my presence around you, steady and real. I am placing my hand over your heart. I am calming the storm inside your thoughts. I am lifting what has been too heavy for too long. I speak peace into your chest. I speak clarity into your mind. I speak healing into the places you don't talk about. I release strength into every weakened part of you and light into every shadow that has followed you through this season. You are not alone in your fear. You are not abandoned in your waiting. You are not unseen in your pain. I am here. I am staying. I am restoring. Let my presence wash over you now, the kind of peace that doesn't ask questions, that doesn't require explanations, that simply wraps around you until you can breathe again. I am making you new from the inside out. I am aligning your future with my goodness. I am preparing doors, paths, and breakthroughs that carry my fingerprints. Rest in me. Trust in me. Stay with me. And as this prayer settles into your spirit, let your heart whisper back, Jesus, I'm yours, because I have always been here for you, always. And if my words have touched your soul, if you felt my presence speaking through this message, if something inside you shifted even a little, show it with an act of faith. Leave your like, subscribe to this channel, and write your heart in the comments below. Your engagement isn't just interaction, it's a declaration that you are choosing faith over fear. And before you go, watch the video that's appearing on your screen right now. I will continue speaking to you through it. I will keep guiding you. I will keep strengthening you. This is not the end. This is the beginning of your healing. I am with you, today, tomorrow, always.